What do you say we get out of here? Grab your things and let's head to my time machine where we're going to go 5, 10, 20 years ahead in the United States. Buckle up. I'd like to start with a message from Spirit for the next 5 years in the United States. And that message for humanity is this: don't give up on humanity. I know that seems like an odd message, but what I was shown is that we're at a crossroad. And in the next 5 years, we're going to be making a very important decision. There's two paths. One path, which I am hopeful that we are on the trajectory for, is that we will see how we have been made to focus on fighting each other, to distract from all of the inequities in money balance, in how people are taken care of in this country. And if we're fighting each other, then we don't pay attention to the wealth grab and to some of the structures that have not served us in a very long time. If we choose the path of, as things are being torn down, to acknowledge that each other is not the enemy, but the enemy is us fighting each other, and decide to come together as humanity, be more empathetic and more human to each other. We're being shown so many things right now of humans being horrible to humans. And we're given the opportunity to say, that's not what we want. Or we can go down the other path, where we say, this is too much and humanity's a disaster. I just need protection. And so I'm going to go inward, protect myself, give some of my power away for that illusion of protection, and deal less with humanity and more with technology. What we do in the next 5 years is critical to everything else. So as we're sitting here going, oh, I just want to get through the next 5 years, we have to restructure our thoughts into the next 5 years is what will make the next 25 years incredible or not. Discernment. I keep hearing the word discernment, because it will become more and more difficult to tell what's real from what's not real. And when that happens, people can step into fear and step into making other narratives relating to AI rather than another human that has a different opinion. So a big message is, let's not give up on each other. The next thing that I see coming is financial for the United States. And I know it's probably not going to be shocking to hear that financial restructuring is going to happen in the United States and the world. But there is a lesson that the United States needs to learn, and it has to do with money, and it has to do with distribution of wealth, and it has to do with capitalism, or what we've thought was capitalism. Because what we're living under right now, while we call it capitalism, became something different quite a while ago. And it started when we allowed corporations to act like humans and have certain rights and contribute to campaigns for political purposes. And so we definitely got off track from what the idea of capitalism is. And so since things are so out of balance with wealth distribution, there will be a huge correction. And I'm saying this because I want you to be prepared and not scared. And there was a really clear message from Spirit that I want to put in a perspective on this. That because there is so much wealth in so few hands, the best way to eliminate that issue is to eliminate the wealth. Now, there will always be a certain part of the population in the world that have a tremendous amount of wealth. But with this financial correction in the United States, it's going to take a lot of people out of this position of power because the money that they have that equals control that affects all of us, when that is removed, it levels the playing field a little more. Now, there's a lot of work to be done on this globally too, so don't get me wrong, just the United States having a correction is not enough, but it's a start. So when this happens, instead of going into fear, look at it like, okay, this is a necessary process in order to handle this problem that's festered for so long, and it's only getting worse. So it's going to be a harsh correction for a really big problem. But here's the good news for us. The rest of us know how to survive. We're a scrappy group here. We know how to get through tough financial times because we help each other out. We understand that we're here for each other and we have the safety net. But that's not going to be the same for people who've identified as their wealth being what makes them important, or their wealth being the only thing they live for. So the universe is going to handle this, and we're just going to have to do the best we can, do the best planning you can. Once you've been prepared and you understand that this is a necessary correction, I see us coming through better on the other side. Another thing I see in the next 5 years is odd. I see people throwing away their cell phones. Now, I have kids, and so to me that seems like a completely impossible scenario. But I think it has to do with when I'm seeing this person throwing the cell phone away, it's like there's this tracking device on it. And there is going to be a group of our society that no longer wants to be tracked. So you're going to start seeing people find different ways to communicate. Not everybody. There'll be those that like more technology. But there will be a group, there'll be a big movement away from any kind of device that can track us. That anything that invades our privacy or gets our private information, you're going to start seeing pushback on that. And the final thing I'll share is the vision of a very popular television pastor having a tremendous scandal and downfall. Now, that's not new, right? We've had that, but this goes to another level. And this person was so well received for so long that it's going to shake many people's religious beliefs. So look for that, and look for people revisiting what it means to be religious or spiritual or connected to source. What I see 10 years from now, and just a reminder, as we go farther out, there is more free will decision and there is more ability for things to shift. But where things sit today, January of 2026, I see something really interesting with how we live, our housing. And what I was shown is single family homes, especially larger homes on larger lots, coming down. And it almost looks like a horseshoe shape lot design. And on that lot design, there is like 3 small homes, small structures. And in the center, there is like a main kitchen and a main dining area and another structure that everybody goes to in the evening to have their dinner, to maybe there's a laundry facility. It's communal but different. It's communal, but everybody has their own place. I'm seeing groups of this where 3 or 4 smaller units supported by the central structure building where everybody eats and watches each other's kids and does their schooling or whatever it is. It's more group living. But we all have our own places, which I got to tell you, that would be important to me. So, very interesting. The downside, of course, is that a lot of us, even though we don't think we live in luxury right now, we'll definitely be downsizing. The upside, though, is that we won't be so lonely. At night, when you're done with your day or whatever you got to do, and you're like, nothing to watch, and I've kind of had a rough day or whatever, and you go to the communal dining area, and there's your friends and family, and you're laughing and eating food, have a glass of wine, hang out. There's a part that seems really appealing to that. Or saying, hey, I've got to run into the office or do something. Can you keep an eye on my child and feel really good about the individual that's watching your kids? Because you know them. They're maybe your close family or friends, and they would do the same for you. It's a higher level of commitment to each other and to that unit there. I don't know. I like it. I still want to bring a lot of my stuff, though. I need to let that go. In 10 years, I see something major. Major good. And I heard that song. I can't remember the name of the song, but anybody in the 80s and 90s will remember it, where they had Spock's voice going, pure energy, pure energy. That's what I heard. And followed by, in 10 years from now, we're going to start seeing some cleaner energy. And I don't know if I can exactly say free, but very low cost. Less pollution, lower cost. This is a nice breakthrough. So, yay for clean energy, and yay for the reduced cost to all of us. So vehicles. They look weird. We don't have flying cars, sorry. I was shown a vehicle that looked almost like a little bullet. And it was cute, it was red, and it had a little dome off on the top. And I see one or maybe two people that fit in there. It's very narrow. It does not run on gasoline. It runs on something else. And they're quiet and they're fast and they take up much less space. So for you Costco lovers out there, I'm sorry. I'm just not sure how that's going to work. But yeah, much less expensive too. Affordability, much more affordable. Okay, so let's talk a little trash. In 10 years, we are really going to be much more effectively dealing with trash and what we consider trash. We're not just going to be filling landfills mindlessly full of stuff that we bought that was cheap, that broke, and we just throw it away. We're going to be recycling, reusing, upcycling, really making an effort to get the best use out of everything that we have, because we're going to be more appreciative of it. So it'll be actually kind of frowned upon to throw things away. What do you mean you throw that away? We could use those buttons again, or we can recycle that disc, or whatever it is. There'll be a huge movement for it, and it'll be well supported, and people just expect that's how we live. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice to see us have a better respect for what we throw out and what we reuse. Okay, we're really getting out there now. We're looking at 20 years in the future for the United States. Now, this is the one where it's most likely to shift depending on what we choose. I feel like we're going to make good choices, though. So, the first message I get for 20 years in the future is a huge, huge shift in medicine. I don't even know if we call it that anymore. It will be a shift away from pharmaceuticals. Not that they won't be around, they still will be. But there will be so many other options. including energy healing, sound healing. I see it looks like a tanning bed that people go into, and they pull this thing over, and it has something to do with showing where there's inflammation and like dysfunctional cells in the body. So the CT scan and the MRIs and some of the things that we'll look back on as very primitive, that's not necessary anymore. Imaging how we see the body, integrated medicine, integrated function. I keep hearing integration. A lot of the people right now that are considered the woo-woos that have been talking about Reiki and, like I said, all the energy healings, the sound healings, vibrational healing, something with using vibration, like standing, I know there's some of them now, you stand on vibration pads, grounding pads. Something about, I'm seeing someone with something around them as they're in the sun that takes something from the sun and uses I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but these are all huge breakthroughs, much more affordable, safer, better for the human body, not as intrusive. In 20 years, boy, do we do a better job with medicine. I do feel that part of this is a fallout that's happening, from now. We all know what's going on with healthcare. From now until about 20 years when we have it all together. But there'll be incremental improvements as we go along. But something about 20 years from now just feels like, poof, in a good way. I am seeing some of the effects of climate change, and I'm seeing like domes and half domes. And I feel like some of the half domes are to protect from oceans, structures that have been there but now need protection more than just a wall, like a clear half. I'm seeing like a half dome in some areas. I'm seeing full domes in other areas, which could be agricultural, but domes, lots of domes. I see a significant leader. Gosh, and I'm starting to get choked up about this. In 20 years, 20 or 25 years, there's going to be a leader. And we'll be functioning more, like I'm seeing softening of borders. Not like everybody's just one big world, but we're not as, this energy right now of get off my border, get out of here. It's different. Things are more equitable, so those borders don't matter as much. This is good signs. This is good things. But this leader is more of a spiritual nature, a world leader though, where it's incorporated into how we run our societies. The potentiality of this leader really does depend on what we do from now until then. It feels like the world we've wanted to live in this whole time. And we're not giving our power away to this leader. I'm just saying we're in an energy where a leader is speaking to our hearts, to our souls, to our humanity. And it feels like we finally did it. It feels like we finally did it. So, that's what I see. The future is up to us. If we pick this path, my kids and grandkids, I feel really hopeful for. And I think all of us are doing our best. And so many of us have been called here at this time to contribute whatever we have to contribute. Some people, it's just bringing their awesome personalities. Other people, it's standing up for injustice. Some people, it's being caregivers. But the energy I have right now for humanity, gosh, I really feel like we don't give up on us. That's awesome. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you would please, 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 subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when I post videos, because I don't do it on a regular day or time, so, you know, that way you'll know. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care. Bye now.